Hey, one of our sponsors is here.
Woo! Who is it? Who is it?
It's Jason Kreidner from Beagleboard.
Ah, Beagle Boards. Yes.
Beagleboards.
Boy, the sponsors.
If there's
Wow.
any other sponsors in the crowd, get
Please.
out now. We're gonna talk about you. And we have no sponsors left. All right, cool.
Sorry, you guys won, but you get nothing.
Yeah.
Well.
Do we have? Let me get the schedule up too.
Oh, yeah, I
Mm,
should have that up too. No, nervous. I'm so scared.
We've never done this before.
I always get jittery before. You can't see it, but my hands are shaking.
Really?
Yeah, my heart rate's elevated. It's a good rush. It's kind of like racing cars.
Without the possibility of your head going through a windshield.
Exactly. Oh, let me get this recording going on the TriCaster. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, are you ready? Are your hands on the buzzer? Let's get this
Do we
recording
have
going.
buzzers?
I don't know. That'd be great if there was a live feedback thing that we could see, like, you guys are sucking.
Yeah. And punch in your votes. Welcome to 555's Funniest Videos.
Oh boy.
Especially if we hired Bob Saget for that.
Sponsors that are in the chat room, we need a bigger budget next time.
Yeah.
Like any budget.
Yeah. A budget would be nice.
Are my audio levels okay?
Talking to me or
Audio
them?
levels. All right, it's 6 o'clock. Should we get this going?
9 o'clock here. You're late, Jerry.
Oh, well, I'm going back to bed then.
All right. We'll see you in a few.
All right.
All right. Hey. So I guess we can start then.
All
Huh?
right. Well, I'm
All
Jerry
right.
Ellsworth, and you may have seen some of my videos.
And I'm Chris Gamble of the Amp Hour. Ooh, how about that?
Oh,
That's
you
my
mixed it up. That's a little bit
I
different
mixed
than
it
I'm
up
used
today.
to.
Yeah. So
You see,
I'm
I
from
didn't
the
have
Amp Hour.
anything to say. That's all cool, like your
Yeah.
little polished intro for your podcast.
Yeah. Well, people can hear that on the podcast, theamphour.com.
So why are
Donate
we
today.
here, Chris?
Why are we here? We are here for the 555 contest, or the 555 contest, or the triple nickel contest, or however you want to
Five
call that
by
one here.
five.
Yeah, we've had that debate. So let's not start that again.
Oh God.
Uh,
So for those of
yeah.
you that don't know, the 555 timer is a chip that was designed back in the 70s by Hans Kommesend. It's a
Mm,
chip that has a bit of digital in it, some analog, and really there's a lot of love for it out there because so many hobbyists used it, and it got integrated into millions and millions of products.
yeah. In fact, there's about 1 billion sold today, I believe, still. So like probably 10 to 20 vendors have their own make of the chip. So they all make a 555. It all does the same thing, and they get some easy cash out of it from a old and tested design. So
Tried and
that's how
true is like
tried
the
and true.
tried
That's
and
the
true.
one. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
So how
yeah.
this all got started was we were having this flame war on Twitter
Was
about
it a flame war?
I don't know. Some people really got heated about it.
Yeah,
Is it the
that's true.
flame war or whatever we want to call it was um, we were debating back and forth whether the 555 was still relevant today, and people were
Mm,
saying no, no microcontrollers, and other people were arguing that it was really still very useful, and
hmm
and someone out of all these hundreds of tweets suggested that we should just throw a contest and see what kind of cool new applications can be.
Yeah, and you guys did pretty well, I guess. I guess if you're into that whole awesome entry thing.
Two,
Uh,
238 awesome entries was
that's
230,
right. It was. Yeah, I think that's the number. Yeah, 238.
way more than I
Yeah, we expect
expected. And I was talking to people that had
uh
run contests like this before, and they said that
50.
oh yeah, if you're lucky, 50. So
hmm So we
bravo,
got a lot.
guys.
Yeah,
You guys,
and yeah. So thank you, everybody. That was kind of the point we were getting to, right, Jerry?
yeah,
Yeah. Thank
exactly.
you.
I mean,
Thanks
it's
for
incredible.
listening, and yeah, thanks for listening to us, and thanks for sending us designs, and thanks for talking to each other about it and designing stuff around the 555. And thanks for showing up tonight. I don't know how many are in the chat right now. We have 260 people listening right
Oh,
now, so that's pretty
excellent.
cothe
Excellent.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
the we
So
didn't quite reach our 555 viewers, but
we
I guess
started anyways.
we'll
Yeah.
go anyway. But this wasn't, as we were talking about this on Twitter about, well, how about we do this contest?
Hmm.
The first sponsors started like stepping up, just that followed us on Twitter and said, well, I'll donate a board here or I'll donate
Hmm.
this. And what was it, about 24 to 48 hours? The whole contest was full tilt.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it was kind of we got a core group of people that said they donate, and then other people saw that, hey, this is actually happening. That was kind of the key point, I think, and
What was our
that's when we
grand
started a
total in
website.
prizes in the end? I know it was like
Uh,
2,000 the first day. It was incredible.
yeah, I think it was about 9,000 in the end.
Wow.
So
I, I,
that's a lot of dough. So who are these mysterious sponsors, Jerry?
well, I just happened to have a video. Let's take the roller coaster over there and take a look at it. Whee!
So, oh,
Yeah, be sure
before
to go
well,
buy
yeah,
these
we'll go
guys'
through them a
website.
couple times. Yeah, yeah. So this is actually this is in order of how we listed them on the website too. So another supplementary piece of material too people can look at is the 555contest.com, and we actually have a whole section on prizes and sponsors and all of our wonderful sponsors who donated things, and we actually list what we had offered up from all these sponsors.
I'm very proud that we took a stand very early on not to let one sponsor kind of take over the contest. We did have a few people step up and say, "Well, let's make it the Jerry's Widget contest, and we'll supply all the
Hmm.
prizes." Which,
Right, right. And the only argument, I mean, that's not a bad thing because that does happen sometimes, but that's kind of like the walled garden approach, right? So that's like, hey, everybody come on in, and we want to keep all your stuff, and we everybody has to come to our site. And that can work sometimes, but it's usually a lot more open, and you'll get a lot more participation when it's kind of third party. So that's kind of the thing we shot for. And I apologize, my server is kind of crappy, the one that I ended up putting the site on, so it was down a couple times, and
oh, did
it
it?
crashed a couple of my other sites. But so I appreciate everybody being patient with the sites too, because I am not a savvy webmaster. But the
It was hard to
yeah.
promote a little bit too because people were skeptical, right? You got a couple nasty grams back saying,
Oh, I did, yeah. But I won them over. I think I won them over. You know, they
I would have just
people.
told these guys to go pound sand or something, but Chris like is a saint. He's like, no, you don't let me be gentle and like spin this the right way.
Yeah, future reluctant PR person, maybe. Who knows?
Uh-oh, sell out.
Uh-oh. Yeah. Um.
Well, do we want to get
So
right into the first winner, or is there anything else we want to say before?
I did want to talk about prizes. So how are we doing prizes, and maybe a quick rundown of what we're doing tonight. So first off, we're gonna run through the top three in each category. And as a reminder, the four categories are artistic, utility, uh, minimalist, and complex. So if you want to read about those two, there's descriptions on the website, or you just see as we go along. Um, but basically, we're going to run through all the third places, all the second places, and then all of the first places, and with a couple other small things cut in there too.
Yeah, yeah.
So
We got a special guest visitor that a little
yeah,
long-winded special guest typically, but we got
yeah,
him under control this time.
yeah. I know him from some other things, but you know him too. But uh, yeah. So as far as the prizes go, so people have been asking how are we going to give out prizes, everything like that. The way we're going to do it is we have 12, uh, uh, 14 winners actually, and what we're going to do is we're going to have a round robin among those 14 people. They're going to claim the prizes they want based on what position they came in. So if they're first, they're going to have first choice. And then everything that's left is actually going to be a door prize. So everybody that participated, anyone who submitted a design, we're going to randomize a number, pick a number out of a hat, and if you get that number, you're going to get a prize. So I was thinking about it today, and there's some stuff in here that, this is like the 555 is like an analog kind of chip, digital chip, and a lot of our prizes are digital. And no matter what you get, though, I wanted to really encourage people that, like, even if you can't use it as give it to, a kid who can maybe try it out and play with it and get them into electronics, because, we're not going to be able to match everybody up with these random door prizes at
Yeah.
the end. But hopefully you can thank our sponsors and show a kid about electronics and kind of just help the community. It's
Yeah, be sure to thank the sponsors. I mean, it's really, really important to drop them an email and say thanks. And I
Yeah,
think this is kind of unheard of in a contest to let people choose the prizes they want and see if we can actually, arbitrate that out. It may be a disaster in the end on our side, but really, I mean, who wants to win a digital tool when they really want this analog other thing that might be of a lesser value? So
mm,
I'm
yeah,
excited to see how it turns out.
yeah. Kind of like chaos theory applied to see what shakes out. So we'll see if that works. So again, thanks to our sponsors. Like Jerry said, there was skepticism about that. I was a little skeptical too, like because because of what I said before. With the walled garden approach, people want to give people like contestants for their contest their prizes, right? So when there's not that, you know, direct entry to a company's contest, it's a little tougher. So the ones who did step forward and give prizes, we were really appreciative for
Well,
that.
I think
So
this really goes to show that collaborating is really the wave of the future on the internets. I mean, I think every sponsor really, really, I had to do it. I'm sorry. But
I know
I, I really
love
think that all
happiness.
the, but I think all the sponsors will see a big benefit from this. So this is great. I hope to see more of this in the future.
Yeah, yeah, definitely, and hopefully other people will run the contest next
Yeah.
time so we can enter.
Yeah.
Like that was the tough part too. I mean, like I
This was
had a bunch of
difficult. You put
five
so
five
much work
fives.
into this, Chris.
Oh, well, no, that's not what I meant like that. I just mean like the 555s that I was playing with. I couldn't enter them in the contest, so those videos are forthcoming, hopefully. Uh,
Yay. All right, should we jump
um,
into the. I'm so.
you're antsy.
I
Yeah.
just want to hit that button and show.
Okay.
All right.
You just want to ride the roller coaster again, Jared.
No,
That's what
no,
it
we're
is,
not
right?
riding the roller coaster. I don't know what this
Oh,
transition's going to be. I'm just
oh,
randomly
we're on
throwing up
random.
transitions to make it fun, quote unquote.
Okay, so we should explain the videos too because
Yeah.
when we were cutting when Jerry was cutting the videos together, basically the way people were doing videos, it was really like ad hoc and awesome because it was like you're there building the stuff with them. So the audio was really tough to cut together. So it's going to be kind of Mystery Science Theater 3000 where me and Jerry are going to try and talk through the projects as they go. Um,
Yeah. I mean, I really tried to use their own voice, but unfortunately, trying, it was just taking too much time to try to make one little short 1 minute video that was coherent with them explaining what their
right.
project was about. So,
Right.
uh,
And I think anyone who's like done a summary video before knows that like that's a lot of work to do that clips together. So
so
we're really happy Jerry cut them together at all. That's awesome. It's
let's,
not like, hey, where's this link? We should go over to. Hold on, just wait. What? 1 minute. 1 minute. Hold on. Yeah, yeah. Okay, so Jerry, what do we got?
all
What's up
right. This
first?
is
Oh,
Jim Fritz. It's a audio sequencer done mostly with
okay.
555s.
And which category is this? Oh, wow, we even got the fancy.
Artistic. Yeah. So this
All right,
guy
so this.
started with breadboards and printed his own circuit board. And look at
Yeah,
this. He made a really nice enclosure,
yeah.
wood face.
And so he actually has about a 13-minute build video of the schematics and everything going through, and really good. So if people want it, that's another great thing about the contest too. If you're kind of beginning, starting out, you can follow some of these people's videos and build really advanced things and learn about it as you go. And now we have music too. So
So there's, yeah, that's what it sounds like in the end. It does a lot more, but I just cut it down short. I really
yeah,
he did a he showed an interesting technique to where he drilled a hole through the wood, put an LED
hmm
in it, and then put a plastic backing on it, a part of a potato chip bag, and filled it with hot glue. So it made this nice indicator when he
uh-huh,
pulled away the potato chip bag, and it was
uh-huh.
flush with the front. Really, really cool.
That's awesome. Yeah. Yeah, and those kind of like little tips and tricks are like really useful too. So there's a lot of nuggets like that throughout all the videos. Also, so like Jerry said before, we have our celebrity judges, and we should probably mention our judges now
Oh
too.
yeah.
So sorry. So first off, our second round judges, our process was me and Jerry narrowed down the entries based on, documentation, making sure we can understand what was going on there, and just kind of our first pass at how viable the projects were. Products. Uh,
Which was very, very difficult because
really difficult.
so professional. Oh.
What do you mean that's so professional?
No, no, I mean, no, you're not being professional, Chris. No, I mean, they were all
Oh,
the
oh.
presentations were so professional. Good
Oh yeah, yeah.
documentation, better than I hand to my clients most of the time.
Yeah. So that was our first round, and that was probably about someone counted it up, and I think we didn't really narrow it down too much. We actually posted the second round entries on the website, and it was about 100 or so entries that we actually handed off to our next round judges. And so that was a lot of work for them too. So our second round judges were from adafruit.com, who is a kit builder. If you've never heard of them, they have a bunch of kits, and so that was actually Phil and Lamore. They looked over a lot of those entries. And then the other judge was Evil Mad Scientist Laboratories, or ESML, how they sometimes go.
Mhm.
And that's Wendell, and we're not sure who else was helping Wendell, but so ESML were helping judge that second round there, basically. And so that
Two
pared it
awesome
down.
hackers narrowing it down. Oh, the funny thing is, I saw an email from Wendell after he went through the judging. I know it took me about 12 hours. It probably took him
Yeah.
that much, at least. He said something to the order of like, "I'm gonna lay down and take a nap for like
Yeah.
12 hours now."
Too much cognitive skill coming from all these entries. So. And then so our final round was actually our celebrity judges, and that's kind of that was when Jerry and I started the contest. That was like one of the most exciting things about it. So the first one is Forrest Mims, who, if people don't know, he is one of the premier writers. He wrote all of the Radio Shack books back when the chip was starting up basically.
The little mini
And
engineer handbooks and
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. And the other one, and this was another big one too, is the creator of the chip, Hans Kamen-Zind, the creator of the 555. But that was like
What?
amazing.
Wow. Another funny story about the Forrest conversation I had with him about judging. He said, "I would love to if you spell my name correctly."
That's right. Yeah.
I misspelled
It's
it in his.
Mims. Yeah, not two M's at the end there.
Sorry, Forrest.
Yeah. And we actually got an email back from Forrest today, and I wanted to read that real quick. Sorry, we jumped into entries, and then
I'm sorry. I was so excited to get started.
I know you were so excited. So, and we posted one thing, but he wanted to talk about the first time he saw a 555. So the first time he saw it was in the summer of 1974 was the first time he saw a 555 timer, and he was actually working at MITS, which is one of the first computer companies. And basically, he just dug right into it, and then later on, he actually started writing some of the application books that a lot of people grew up playing with electronics using. And so I'm sure a lot of people in the chat right now have stories of using Forrest Mims books to learn electronics, not just the 555 either. Like we're talking like electronics. So very awesome that he was a judge.
Yeah.
And yeah,
Pretty much molded a couple decades of engineers with his books. It's just
yeah.
such an honor.
Hmm. And so the reason I kind of jump back to that is because we actually have from the things that Hans said, he actually wrote in little notes about these things, and we're not going to read all of them, not necessarily, but about Jim's design. He said, "Beautiful design, but I wouldn't want to listen to it too often." I think he's not a knob turner kind of fan, but yeah, he loved the design, and it really was beautiful. That the wood paneling on the front and the acrylic knob, very beautiful,
Mm.
and the switches too, just impeccable build quality. So, great job. That was our third place artistic winner.
Yeah, that was a great entry for artistic. All right, do
Yeah.
we want to move on to third place utility?
Yes.
All right.
I'm trying to think if we missed anything else here. Like if we need to like announce the rules or something, something like that. So here we go. Third place utility. Who is this?
This is Tom Jenner. He gave a great demonstration on controlling servos and robots and neural
Mhm.
networks, all with 555 timers. Just
That's right.
dozens and
And
dozens of projects. This guy went overkill. Um,
yeah. And this he actually posted a link to a Reddit site with all of the links to the different. He posted the video, but then he also had tons of links in there. And basically, this is a he basically wrote a course in like beginner robotics with a 555. It was intense.
yeah, yeah. He
So
even had a drawing of place your 555 on your breadboard here and put these jumper wires, and this is your
yeah,
educational board. Everything will be based off of this. And this is what you
yeah,
do if you have an oscilloscope, and this is what you do if you don't have an oscilloscope.
right. And that's like a big deal because a lot of beginners don't necessarily have one. And if you need to see signals, if you need to see rising and falling signals, you need some way to actually monitor that to see if, I mean, you got to start somewhere, right? So that's really really awesome. And we really didn't look into the backstory of these people either. Like I'm not sure if he's a teacher or I mean, but the feeling I got from this video was that he's taught people before and yeah, it was a very great entry.
Yeah, definitely check that one out. Okay, so
All right,
next, minimal third place from Michael
right.
Nolan. This is
And so
oh, sorry, go ahead.
oh no, so the minimal we should the minimalist is a little. It was kind of one of the harder to describe ones. Basically, we wanted to see the most use of a 555 with like the least components. So when we were trying to come up with the different categories, it was kind of tough to like try and sort them all out. We went through a bunch of stuff with that, right, Jerry?
Yeah, we actually
Uh,
had some people that were very critical of us for choosing some of these categories, but we did put a lot of time into trying to make the categories so broad that someone in robotics could do it, someone in high-end digital electronics could do a project. Just
yeah,
includes everyone.
yeah. So the minimalist was supposed to be kind of do as much as you can with as little as possible. That was kind of the concept there. So what do we got here? This
So
is the
this is the
third place for
persistence of
minimalist.
vision display. It's a spinning display
Yes,
that displays 555 with three 555 timers and some LEDs.
that's right.
It's interesting because he's transferring power into this spinning device through a phono jack.
Yeah,
And when it spins up and stabilizes, just through analog timing, it forms the numbers 555.
that looks familiar, I have to say.
Yeah,
And so that was actually on a motor, right? That wasn't how some persistence of vision or POVs are, where you can actually spin them yourself, or put them onto like I've seen them on like bike wheels before.
yeah, yeah.
Uh,
I think in
but
one of his videos he did show it spinning it by hand, but it, don't take my word on that though.
okay, don't worry, we're not recording.
Oh, oh.
Yeah,
I
so that was
love
really great.
minimalistic things like that. That's great.
I know, yeah, because minimalism usually translates to elegance, right? I mean, that's kind of the
Yeah,
idea behind elegance. That's doing something very awesome with very little material stuff.
exactly.
All right. Not only do I look like a 12-year-old, I also talk like one. I was catching some crap earlier because on camera I look like I'm about 12. So
Oh,
I'm actually significantly older.
he just has a baby face. He's
Yeah.
our little
Yeah.
princess. I was calling him earlier.
Crown comes out later. It's a tiara. Uh,
Okay, the next one is in the complex division, which we left that open to use as many 555s as you want, but make sure that if it's complex, that it really is just the focus of the project is 555 timers. And this one
yes.
is by Jim Chen. It's a whack-a-mole game, and I would play this. I liked this one a
I
lot.
love this video. So we get the
This one actually has a little bit of
roller
audio
coaster.
on it. So,
Okay. All
oh,
right. So
are we
I'll
gonna
look in
roller
that.
coaster this one?
Yeah, if we could roller coaster, that would
All
be
right, this
awesome.
one I love this one, so we're
Let,
gonna roller coaster it
let's
in.
let's throw it on over, Jerry.
All right. Whee!
Yee!
And yes, you do get doubles or even triples sometimes.
So you have to touch little electrodes to turn the LEDs off, and if you don't do it
Yeah.
fast enough before that LED at the top, the red one, goes out,
Yeah.
you lose. This is great because it has sound, gameplay, randomness, and it basically just
And it just
uses.
looks
Yeah.
really fun.
So there, that's how the game works.
So it pretty
Wow,
much
that
just
was
uses
awesome.
transistors and 555s in it.
Yeah.
Um,
But that was probably that was at least one for each finger press, so that was at least 9, and then there was the sound one, so that's another one 10, and then I believe there's 2 or 3 more for the timing and setting up a couple of things like for the supervisory. So man, and
yeah,
just
and a lot of these
see,
projects you're going to see, these would have been commercial products, or maybe it could even be commercial products today. I mean,
yeah,
in the 80s, that would have been state of the art video game,
yeah,
at least handheld video game.
yeah. I'm trying to think now. I have a
I
I was thinking back to some of my old games. I was wondering
Yeah, I
if I
have some
crack
right
it
here.
open.
This is like an LED one. It only has like a few LEDs in it, but it probably doesn't have much more than the equivalent of a few 555s in there.
Yeah, open it up, Jerry. Right?
Okay, we're gonna have a teardown
Yeah,
show
we got
right
time, right?
now.
Yeah, yeah. We're running out of material.
Oh God, stretch
Slow
it.
it down, Jerry.
We're almost halfway through the hour. We're doing great.
I know. We're flying through.
All
My
right, this
goodness.
next one, in my notes, I forgot to get his name. I only have his first name. It's our under 18-year-old entry. His first
Okay.
name is Valentine. Do you
That's
have his
right.
last name?
Whoop, not there. I do. Hold on.
We felt that
If
it
you want to
was
play it, I'll pull it up.
we felt it was very important to celebrate young inventors and young electronic hobbyists. So we made sure that there was an under 18 um, division, and Valentine made a inductance meter. And
Yes.
here we go.
All right.
There's a few things I liked about his. He made his own front panel for it. So that panel, he
That-
calibrated the meter.
Yeah. So that's
And
just an old analog meter, basically, and it's railed at the beginning. He's doing audio here, and
yeah,
basically he's hooking up a 100 microhenry inductor.
and
Oh,
on
this is
on
you
his
scrolling.
website, he gives a demo of how to etch the circuit board yourself. And he used, I think, a Sharpie marker to do it all. And then he had a test tube. He threw it down in a
Yeah.
test tube and dumped acids in there and like boiled the acids. And it's like,
Awesome.
yes. Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. So,
He said we left a section for comments when people were entering stuff, and he said, "I'm 16 years old. I did all the work myself since my parents studied something else, not just 50%." Because we also said that people could work with parents on this stuff too, because it's a great project. So if you have kids, you can. A lot of these projects are really good projects to start out with, or well, you'll see some of the later projects too. Not the best products to start out projects to start out with, but there's a lot of really good starting stuff in here, and getting kids excited about electronics is really important. So
you know
I'm
what?
really glad we did that.
Kids that are that excited about electronics now are going to grow up to be
Yeah.
the best engineers. If you have passion, you're going to be the best engineer.
Yes.
Not always
Yes.
understood when you go and want to make something elegant when you go in on the job site, but you're going to do good.
Yeah. Yes, definitely. I agree. All right, so we are on to the number 2 entry. So if people don't get this, if you just came in, we just did the third entries. Those were the number 3 entries. We're going top 3. That's the winners, and now we're going to the second to best entries from each category. If that, I don't know if that helped at all, Jerry.
Anyway,
All
they're
right,
all they're
so
all good. They're all good entries.
they're all good. Every entry was a good entry. I mean,
Yes.
anyone who submitted anything was spectacular.
Yeah.
Honestly,
Okay,
that
so
was like a. Oh, go ahead.
oh, we're stroking their ego too much. We can't do that. You guys are horrible.
Oh,
No.
Jerry.
Oh, okay. I take it back. I retract that. All right, our next
Uh-oh.
one is Artistic Second Place by Sergio Gonzalez. And he calls it Bug Zappa, I believe. It's this. I really liked this one because he made a series of videos showing sculpting
Yes.
all the little bits. And he even had a video where he was talking about like 20 layers of paint that he put on the outside to get the right look.
It was just so weird, and I loved it.
Yeah, he
You
has
know,
little
like
photo cells up in the eyes, and like
that's right.
all the grass down in the.
I can play with this all freaking day. I love it.
We love it too, Sergio.
Yeah.
Um,
Hey,
Down in the
hey, Jay, I think
grass area, there was even all the electronics was running
oh,
through
like
there.
scattered about. That's right. Yeah.
It was all active electronics.
Hey, I think we're losing some of our video here. Bobcat, one of our admins, is saying the video's slowing down. So I don't know if there's anything we can do about that, people. Uh,
I
sorry.
don't know.
Uh,
We can just dwell here for a second and see if people tell us if it's okay. Is it okay, folks?
buffering, buffering. You one of those like little spinner wheels, like the Apple one, like the.
Here, I'll draw one really quick.
Okay.
And what's the chat room
Uh,
saying? Did they?
oh, it says they don't like it. It's choppy. I'm sorry, we have too many people in the chat. We're gonna have to run a second round. We'll have to have people. Everybody come back in an hour. We'll let it calm down. No, I don't know what we're gonna do here. Uh, well, we have audio, so that's a good start. We will. We're recording this right now too, so that's another thing, and we'll post it up on YouTube hopefully real soon afterwards. Um, so I guess it's Ustream. That's kind of the problem right now, but we're not going to change it. So
Yep.
just quick explanation. We'll post all this to YouTube. Hopefully, hopefully Jerry's video comes out because everybody else's will just look like someone said PowerPoint.
Well, sorry, folks. All right, let's keep on rolling here.
All right. So that was the artistic for our second place artistic, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Our next one is Utility, second place,
All right.
by Jonathan Straub. And this is a PCB etchant controller, so it runs
Yeah.
the entire process of etching circuit boards.
Yeah. And this is one of those awesome projects that kind of like feeds back on itself into the community, right? So you have a controller, it's actually working on something that can make more electronics. So that it's kind of self-replicating, right? The
Yeah,
machines will take.
I've been doing home PCB etching more recently, and this would be really convenient because this does everything from dropping the little crystal granules into the
Mhm.
etchant bath and recirculating the fluids and draining fluids. I mean, he went all out on this.
Yeah. And
And
there is a definite, you can mess up boards really easy. You can get undercut, so you actually lose like line width and everything else. So it's a really critical thing for making solid boards, for other electronics projects. So definitely high scores on the utility scale.
yeah, if we're lucky, he'll make this into a circuit board and we can buy it, and then I can put it into my own home lab.
Yeah.
He held up a chart there that showed all of the logic and the logic that it does and steps, and it was pretty incredible the amount of
Yeah.
automation that he did.
Yes. Very awesome. And yeah, and that was another comment actually from Forrest, and I think Forrest might be in the chat now. Someone said that, but he said, a lot of these projects are some of them are commercially viable. That's a very true statement. I mean, like that kind of thing there. Like if he starts kidding that, people are going to buy it for doing home etching. So, consider it.
Bravo!
Forrest Mims says so.
Wow, I do, when I was a kid, I didn't even think I would be able to interact with Mims, and to have him like say like something about your project,
Hmm.
just like would blow
Yeah.
my mind. So
And speaking of, I'm trying to find so that was Jonathan Straub, right?
yeah.
I'm trying to find Hans's comments too. We're not going to read that one.
Engineers
Yes.
are opinionated.
They are very opinionated, and he liked it. But I got to pick a winner sometimes. And so that's another thing we should mention about the judging too. It was actually aggregate too. So if one judge didn't like it, other judges might. So
Yeah.
I don't know if that
Oh,
was a
so the
bad
next
there.
video is part of second place Minimalist, and I really like this one a lot because it was by Eric Schlepfer. It was an AM
Yes.
radio, and it just the entire construction was very beautiful on this one.
Yeah. Roll 212.
So here he is at his home lab, talking about
Yeah.
normally does tubes and stuff, but
That's
here
right.
it is. It looks like an old like cat whisker type radio. He's got a inductor across the back and a variable capacitor and a little tweaking
Hmm.
knob that you tweak to adjust the thresholds so that you could pick up a radio station.
And that was definitely what struck me about it too, was the build quality. I mean, like, granted that wasn't anything we judged on, but like that just comes through because you really care about the projects you're working on. You know, that's the passion Jerry talked about. So that was an awesome one. I mean, AM radio, not not the highest tech, right? But this is a 555 contest. So,
Exactly.
and you
And
did a 55, or you did an AM radio as well, right?
a transmitter.
That's right.
Yeah,
So you could have transmitted to his radio.
I know, we're a complete package there. I like in
Yeah.
his video too because I happen to know him and he works for Maxim. So he dropped, this is a Maxim 555.
Ah,
He got a few plugs in there, so that was kind of fun
that's right.
too.
Because if you can't get it from Maxim, you can probably get it from 15 other people.
Good job, Eric.
All right, so rolling right along. We are 35 minutes in, and if people didn't know, we are actually going to take questions at the end. So stick around for that. We have 300 viewers right now and a very choppy video.
Sorry
Uh,
about the video, folks, but in the post recording, it'll be fine.
Yeah.
The next is our second place complex by Alexis Kotlawi. Oh boy, I probably butchered that name. And I
Mm.
didn't put notes down of what it is, so it's going to be a big surprise to us.
Surprise for Jerry.
Surprise! Do you know what it is?
This one was one of my favorites. Yeah, this is the Pong game. So he actually
This is gonna go on YouTube, by the way.
Awesome.
he created a Pong game. I mean, like, this is, you talked about high tech before. So awesome.
Yeah, and there's the board at the end.
Yeah.
He did everything.
So-
Sync generation. I mean, the only thing I saw in there that wasn't a 555, I think he might have had a comparator or two. I mean, this is state of the
no.
art for the 70s.
Yeah. Yeah. So
I had to dock
you
him
know,
for the comparator though.
it wasn't us. It wasn't us. Yeah. So watching that, it was more like, he said it was more like dodgeball than it was like Pong. And you know, another thing I should mention about these entries too. One thing that we really tried to encourage people to do is to actually post stuff either on YouTube or on their own sites. That was another big thing that we didn't really mention. That was a really big help for us. So thank you to everyone. But also the other thing that I really liked about it is I hope people keep posting their projects there because you know, it's a great way to promote yourself. And if you're an electronics designer, or even just a hobbyist, if you need a job one day, you can just be like, hey, check out this Pong game I made in my spare time. You know that game you played when you were a kid? No, I made that. Yeah, I made that in my house. Yeah.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
very awesome.
This is so awesome. Would have sold in the 70s. He probably would have been multimillionaire. That would have been the next Atari. Oh well. Oh, our next video is from some
decades to
long-winded dude.
Oh, okay. So that was the end of our second round entries.
Yeah, so that's the last second round. Now we got
All
something
right.
from Dave Jones, the best Aussie winner.
That's right. So Dave, we were asking people who wanted to help us judge and help donate, and Dave said, "Hey, I'll do both." And so he's my co-host on the Amp Hour, so I had to oblige him, Dave. And he wanted to judge his own entries based on all the Aussies because he wanted to encourage electronics in Australia, which is, you know, that's great. So here is Dave's pick for the top Aussie and his associated prize.
Hi guys, forget all that crap about who the overall winner of the 555 timer contest is. Who cares? I know what everyone's hanging out for. Who's the winner of Dave's Aussie prize? Who's the best Aussie entrant? Well, there were 17 Australian entries, but there were a couple who entered more than once, so having a couple of bites of the cherry, good on ya, no problem at all. Well, who's the winner? After careful consideration, rubbing the chin a few times, poking the tongue out at the right angle while watching the videos, and I don't know, just making it up on a whim, because that's what I do. Who's the winner? Drum roll, it's Alan Yates. Good on you, Alan. Beauty. It's for Alan's 555 timer add-in machine project. Even though he entered 2 other projects, it's for the 555 add-in machine, which is one of the most awesome entries I've ever seen. It's brilliant. Gotta check out the video. Not only, I mean, the add-in machine concept, right? Little bit boring. Who cares? It's the implementation of it. 110 555 timers wired dead bug style on their back. On the back of this card, the build is just beautiful. Brings a tear to the eye. It really does. Check out some photos of it. It's just awesome. Dead bug style construction layout. 110 555 timers. LEDs that light up, and an old-fashioned rotary dial telephone to enter the digits. Ah, lovely. How could you go past that? Absolutely brilliant. And to top it all off, he did a Dave EEV blog style 30-minute long epic video that has the full video operational details, going through the schematics and each block diagram of how it all works. And to top it all off, there's history in there of adding machines. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Good on you, Alan. You're the winner. So, what have you won? Well, you've won a few of these 16 by 2 line LCD display modules. Beautiful.
A few display modules.
Oh, you didn't put the best part in there.
What?
Oh, we're gonna.
What happened? Did I not get the whole video?
No, that was, you missed the end. We'll have to have Dave post the exciting conclusion to that video. That was my favorite part at the end. So we'll have Dave post that to his EEV blog.
Oh no,
It's not a big deal. It's okay.
I missed it somehow. Oops.
Yeah.
Sorry.
That's okay.
Of course, it's
so
a few of them. Lifetime supply is what he.
Yeah, that's right. Dave seemed all too happy to be unloading that on someone and only shipping it in Australia. So, Alan Yates, open up your junk drawer. Here it comes.
Emptying
Dave
his
has some
garage
displays for
right
you.
into your
Yeah,
your
right.
garage.
Get the dump truck. So someone posted in the chat room while that video was playing about Dave's T-shirt. So Dave actually sells 555 T-shirts. I also wanted to mention we're selling a 555 T-shirt. We're not taking anything from it. All the money we get from that, we're actually going to donate to charity. So if you're interested, I know it's a little pricey, but it's just the only way we could really do it without buying like 200 shirts at a time. So if you want a souvenir T-shirt, buy your own. But it was cool that we got to have. I saw a couple people bought them. So if you want to be have the nerdiest shirt out there, you can go ahead and buy one on 555contest.com, and it's all going to charity. So,
all right,
are we in the finals? Here we go.
Dun, da, da,
Not the
da.
final.
Oh, yes, it is. It's the final. This is the next
No,
one.
not the there's one final after that, Jerry.
Oh, okay. Well, the
one that people don't know about.
The pre-final. All right, we're gonna go through the top winners in each category, starting with artistic, and this is by Randy Elwin. This is an example of how using YouTube videos to your advantage really push this one over the top.
I like that.
Like tumbling dominoes but hate setting them up? Get the same excitement without the hassle with Les Dominoes, the electronic substitute.
So he made a bunch of 555 timer pulse delay elements that one side had a photo transistor and the other side had an LED. Super simple, but when you put them together, you can do all these
And you turn off the lights.
these awesome effects, making endless loops and.
Right, and he had a bunch of different components too. So there was one that could loop back on itself, and then there was one that actually bounced back in the other direction. I think there was another one.
He had a buzzer if you wanted to make it extra annoying. He said.
Yeah, and Man, I remember when Jerry told me about this when this one came in. I hadn't looked at it yet, and she was just so excited for this one, and I was very impressed with this
I
entry.
would have
I
bought
mean,
this as a kid. Well, I wouldn't have bought this because my dad was too cheap, but I would have been envious of all my friends that had like the domino replacement. Oh, and his tagline at the end was the best.
yeah,
It's the name of it's Le Domino. He says
Le
it's
Domino.
Le Domino. It's not French. It just has LED in the name.
That's right. One thing that Han said about this, a simple part with infinite variety. So you think about, how many, like you give a kid Lego blocks, right, or something like that, and you just let them go play with it. They're going to come up with other stuff. Well, what if then the kid could also tear it down and build up a whole nother component to it, right? So if they take the 555 timer and build up a whole nother thing. So from that perspective, it was just brilliant and artistic, and we loved everything about it.
Well
So
deserved. Well deserved.
great job, Randy. And we should point out too that we're just cutting in tiny videos. We have links to all these in the on the 555 contest page. I'm going to keep that site up as long as I can. If people want to go there and check out links, please feel free. And tell the people that are entering the contest too, how awesome their projects are, because
Yes, yes. And I'm really happy that this is kind of it's like
over.
promoting
Oh,
open collaboration.
yeah.
We really encouraged that people should present all their information. We had very few people just send us private submissions
Hmm.
saying, "Don't share this."
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, and that was like there was a big focus because they were working on the open source hardware license as it was going on. We encouraged people to do that, but that's not always necessary either. Sometimes it's just throw all your information up on the web and let people share it and build upon it, and maybe Les Domino, part deux will be like even better. It'll put them on little tiny Matchbox cars next and launch them off something, or I don't know. But yeah, so we really appreciate everybody sharing that stuff, and please be sure to use this as an educational tool too. Like everybody that put all this work in, make sure that it's put to good use. So,
all
what
right.
is next, Jerry?
So the next is our winner of utility by Michael Davis. It's
This one.
a lead acid battery solar charger system, which has quite a few less parts in it.
Hmm.
He had built a solar charger that had a bunch of parts in it,
Hmm.
and when the contest came around, he looked at it and he said, "Well, hey, I could put this functionality and some more by using a 555." So he has all kinds of indicators in it, and it has relays that charge the battery up to the set point at the top of the charge, and then once it reaches that, it stops charging and then allows the battery to dump out into your whatever you're going to use it for.
Right, and he was talking about I think a scooter motor or something like that. I think that was what he was actually prototyping with. But this is great too because it's topical. Like green energy, like that's a huge topic right now, and a lot of people are not sure how to get into it and how to start. And here you go. So he did it for you. Here's a project to get started with it.
Very,
And so
very,
there was some,
very simple circuit, but
yeah,
effective.
yeah, and he used it non-traditionally. You said, right?
I'm sorry?
So you said this is non-traditional too, right? The how he actually used the circuit.
No, I think it was fairly traditional, but used the comparators in it. I don't know.
Oh, okay, yeah. So he pulled some of the. So if you look at the schematic for a 555, there's resistors in there, there's comparators, and then there's a flip flop, and all that stuff together. You can actually sometimes hook it up in just the right way, so you actually isolate some of those components. And I think that might have been what he was talking about. So
Yeah,
yeah, he
worth
said I'm
checking it out.
co-opting its internal organs. So he's like Frankensteining the 555, and I think Hans approved.
All right, so our winner for Minimalist, Tom Jenner again.
Tom Jenner.
This guy clean sweeped our two categories here. Again,
That's
this was
right.
the teacher that had all the servo stuff, so he had a lot of really, really cool robots. I think I misstated the last one. I think the last video was about his utilities like thermal controllers and actuators. This one is more about his robots and
Okay. Okay.
servo control. So
Oh yeah, this one. Okay.
I just
So
had
he
to go
act-
through really fast because he had so much.
Yeah, and he actually shows. He has the balancing robot as well, right?
Yes. That was
yeah,
one of
so
his
he
older
shows-
projects, but
Yeah.
he spun some for this contest specifically.
Yes.
Look at all these robots. And
Yeah.
he goes into great detail of like different feedback systems and
hmm Just chasing you all over the
oh,
living
that's a
room with
fish.
little robots. Yeah, and so people are going to wonder how could he have won multiple categories? We actually, so based on the judging, basically he scored high enough in both categories to win third place in utility and first place in minimalist.
There's
So-
his balancing
this
robot.
This is the balancing one. I saw this on Reddit before I knew it was part of the contest. And I was so amazed. And then I'm like, oh, of course he's in the contest, duh. And
of course,
so, yeah.
the best thing about his balancing robot, he did it with a 555 timer. But at the end of the
Yeah.
video, he shows how to do it with 2 transistors.
Oh, I didn't see that part.
Yes,
It's even
awesome.
better. I know. And, you look at people, like you look at like a Segway, right? Which is, a very advanced piece of equipment that's self-balancing. Obviously, there's a lot more like inertial control in there with using motors and stuff. But you look at the similar, like if you zoom way back and they're similar machines, you're like, that one costs thousands of dollars. That one cost about $1. That's pretty awesome.
Of course, there's trade-offs. I don't know if I would ride a 555 base Segway. Oh, heck, yeah, I would. Just give me my crash
Yeah.
helmet.
Yeah, exactly. You used to race cars, Jerry. Come on.
Yeah, fearless.
That's right. Fearless.
All right,
All right.
and I
So
think
are we down to our last one?
our last one, and I liked this one a lot too, by Alan Yates. Dave mentioned it earlier.
That's
The-
right.
The 555 based calculator, and this a little more footage here showing it in action. There's his phone dialer.
Yep.
And
And
that-
he actually shows that was actually another one of his entries, the tiny bug. That was just a little artistic entry on the side, but he actually shows, and this is, it adds up, and seeing it. Oh, here we go. This will probably show it.
yeah. So
So
he
it
shows
basically-
different arithmetic that you can do with this thing by dialing in the numbers, and it indexes
Yeah.
to the different bit positions.
Yep. And then it actually wraps back around too. That was the other impressive thing. So you can advance. That was a 0 right there. Another 0, and so you actually like map
So
out these
here
numbers.
he's going to
then
do
you-
some adding. So he's just
Yeah.
dialing in a bunch of 9s now, and it's going to, you can see the carry.
boom.
Boom.
Oh, in lasers.
And we lasered him.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah, so
That's
that-
great.
That one was really amazing. And Dave went over that too. I mean, about the amount of LE or 555s he was using. I remember him talking about that when on Twitter he was saying, "Oh, I've got this huge order in, and I've got 150 555s showing up soon." And we were just like, "What the heck are you building?" So
He
awesome.
kept it
It was really
secret
awesome.
for a long time. It was great.
he did, and the build quality too. That's another. I was continuously amazed by that in all the entries. Just the meticulous nature. I'm such a sloppy person that like I'll hack something together and not think second of it. But some of this stuff is gonna last because they did a really good job and took care to really build some nice stuff.
Yeah, not
So
much hot
there's-
glue in that one.
No, it was awesome though. Yeah, we didn't see much duct tape, did we?
No, I don't
guess,
remember any duct tape at all.
Duct tape and electronics usually isn't as much of a.
It's
you know,
no worse than
maybe
that
once
black
next-
electrical tape. That's only good for a
Mm.
year and then it falls off.
Yeah.
And I want to know why. But anyway, that's a different story.
Yeah, we'll come back next week, folks.
As we debate black electrical
Yeah.
tape.
That's right. All right, so how are we doing on time? We actually
We're
Have
timed
been-
this good.
we did. This is great.
All right, I
Uh,
have no video footage for the Mims Hans Award.
Right. So we should just explain it, and we'll post. Darn it, we don't have a site. I guess we have the 555 site, but we. So why don't you explain it, Jerry? So you were contacted about this first.
Okay, so this is what did we finally agree on what the image is going to be? All right, so this is a little
This
little
is ad
funny.
hoc right now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this is a little funny because we're trying to grapple with what it's all about. But an artist contacted us. He does paintings,
Yes.
and I
His
think he
handle is
wanted,
Gnome N Candle.
yeah, and he wants to do a custom painting about 555s.
Yes. And specifically, we said we'd like it to be our top prize. So we went to Forrest and Hans, and we said, of all these entries, 238 entries, which is your favorite? And they told us. So we'll announce that in a little bit. But basically, what this is going to be is this art, and we'll let the winner determine the final thing. But the artist Noman Candle has offered to paint the winning entry, so it'll be an artistic representation of 555 entry. So that was our surprise final prize, and we're gonna call it the MIMS Commons In Prize.
Yeah.
It is the top honor of the 555 contest.
I think it'll probably turn out really, really neat.
Yeah.
And the winner is.
The winner is. Drum roll. Wait. Wait.
Wait, do you have it
I
through?
don't. I just have sticks. Go ahead, Jerry.
No, it's after you.
You don't know who it is.
I don't
do you?
know. That's the problem.
The winner is our winner of two other categories is Tom Jenner. So Tom Jenner has won the MIMS Commons In Prize for the 555 contest. They both were exceedingly impressed, as were we. I'm sure that came through in our showing. Adafruit, ESML, we were all super impressed, and we hope that knowledge just keeps spreading like wildfire, and kids and hobbyists and professionals can build those really awesome circuits all the time. So we'll let Tom decide. Another thing that Noman Candle, the artist, is going to offer, so he's going to paint it, and then the way he recoups costs is he actually does prints, and he usually does a run of 50 prints. So those will be available for purchase from him, and we'll post a link to that too. So we highly encourage people to buy a poster of this. It's going to be a piece of art. It'll be like a litho that you can buy and hang up in your house, and that would be an awesome piece of artwork.
I kind of want to. I can't. I'm going to talk to him, see if I can get a velvet painting of like Forrest and Hans.
Oh, like the Kramer? We could get like the side by side.
Yes.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. So
Wow, we made
we'll
it
leave that up
right
Tom.
to 1 hour.
Yeah, that's crazy. And we can dance around and people will just see single frames of us moving around.
Well, you know what? Maybe this would be a good point to let me go ahead and put the sponsors up one more time.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
then I'll pause everything and maybe we can fix it. And if everyone can hang in there, we'll try to fix the video feed. Maybe take a 5-minute break or something, and come back and we'll answer some questions. All right, here's our sponsors.
Here's our sponsors one last time. We want to thank them: Element 14, Gabotronics. I'm sorry if I'm butchering these names. Zess, X-Tech, the instrument company. The Android development team is another one. They donated a phone. EBM Paps is a fan controller company. Altium's a software and hardware company. Design Spark is a distributor and social media. Savage Circuits, Chris Savage. BeagleBoard is part of the TI open source. DigiKey, everybody knows who DigiKey is. Xilinx, the FPGA maker, donated a board. JK Devices is a small board manufacturer. Original Electroid is a kit maker. Dorkbot PDX, they donated board space on their group order. Umlaut donated board, so did ProtoStack. Cafe Logic donated tons of displays. Your Electronics Open Source donated a FTP controller. RoboGames donated tickets. HackHut donated...
Did you?
I got it. HackHut donated gift certificates, and Droids.it donated some more boards. So
Good
tons
job,
of
Chris.
prizes. We will make sure we get with all of the winners in order to try and match them up the best with their desired prize, and then the rest are going to go out to everybody else. So we want to thank everybody so
Yes.
much for entering. That was so awesome. Even if you're just watching right now, thanks so much for just participating and listening to Jerry and I are watching our tweets over and over again about 555 contests.
Yeah, be sure to
And
look all these folks up on Twitter. It's amazing the creativity that happens
Yeah.
on Twitter just discussing these nerdy topics. Like,
Yay,
discussing
nerdy.
I like nerdy things.
Yeah. Yeah, it's great. I mean, like Twitter, Facebook, whatever it is, it doesn't matter. As long as we keep in touch, that's however it happens. Like we could create a 555, Morse decoder and go over ham bands or something like that, right? So yeah.
We need to have a second show just on the notable mentions. I mean, there's incredible ones talking about ham radio. Someone made a ham radio receiver by just abusing the 555.
Yep.
I mean, there was just so few spots at the top and just so many great entries.
Yes.
Okay, if that's all we have to say, I'm going to stop it right here in an hour and
Okay.
see if we can hang in there, folks, and we'll come back and answer some questions.
And so how